a remote control and a television, this is gonna be a rather odd video for Yeltsin's feet. Now, not really, because you see, I want to talk to you about this book called Educate to Self-Regulate by Dr. Shyam Barr. And as you can see, it has remote controls on its cover. Strange, right? I'm gonna talk about that later. First, about this video. I want to give you my honest and very spontaneous review about this amazing book. Now, as some of you may know, I have written a book about self-regulated learning myself. And so I was really excited when I saw that this book was coming out. And yeah, I got excited because it really had the same mission as when I was writing my book. Shyam as well, he wanted to write a book to help explain to teachers what self-regulated learning was all about, so that they would come to see that although it may seem a rather theoretical concept, it's actually a tool that can help solve a lot of very practical everyday challenges in the classroom. And so I got really excited to read it and a tiny bit nervous as well, because you know, our books have been written in 2 years apart in different language and at the exact opposite of the world. So I was really curious to see whether we would be kind of telling the same things, because you know, there is so much literature on self-regulated learning, and I know for a fact that it was a really big challenge to try and summarize it all. So yeah, needless to say that I really wanted to read it. Now, first of all, I must say, I felt really relieved because both of our books really match, and that to me told me that okay, so we probably did pick the right ideas out of it. And so also for the readers of my book, I would say go and buy the book anyway. Yes, you will read some repetition probably, we are presenting the same kinds of contents, but it is obviously presented in a slightly different way, but not so different that it gets confusing. No, you will read some things again and this will deepen your knowledge, and also you will get some very practical new ideas that you can teach to your students. So for my own readers, please go and buy the book. Now, about the book itself, it is really well written. It's so easy to read and to follow, you just want to read on. And every time there is a bit of theory, it is automatically followed by this kind of, you see this section that's called SRL Toolbox, and it contains really very concrete strategies that you can already go teach your classroom, you know, the next day. Okay, so it's really a practical book as well. It has lots of classroom examples. It has a section for school leaders as well, if you want to start integrating self-regulated learning into your entire school. Now, I'm going to share with you the two things that got me most excited about the book. The first thing is the cover. Now, not so much the design of the cover, although I like that as well, but it refers to a metaphor that Shyam Barr uses that you as a teacher can use to introduce self-regulation for the first time to your students. Now, I am a big fan of using metaphors myself. I use it as well. And I think this is by far the best metaphor you're gonna find today if you want to explain self-regulation to your students for the first time. Obviously, I'm not gonna give it away. You're gonna have to go and buy the book and read all about it yourself, but you're gonna find it very practical. The second thing is something that surprised me in a really good way, because when I was doing research for my own book, I noticed that it's very important to help students transfer the self-regulation skills that they were taught in one year or in one subject, and help them use those strategies and skills in other contexts. We know that this transfer does not happen automatically, but in research there are only a few authors that pay attention to the transfer of these self-regulation skills. And so I thought, well, this is really crucial, and I added it to my own book. And to my surprise, Shyam did the exact same thing. So he came up with this acronym called NEMO-T, and the T stands for transfer. And this acronym is really helpful if you want to start increasing the effectiveness of your own approach, of the approach that you already have going on in your classroom already. So you know what the T stands for, it's transfer. And if you want to know what the 4 other letters stand for, obviously you're gonna have to read the book because it's totally worth it. Okay, so I would say go ahead, read it. Let me know what you think about it, and especially let Shyam know he's curious as well. And maybe as a final thought, from my own experience, I know that when you read a book about self-regulated learning, it can really help you get going. It can help you connect dots and look at things differently, and therefore get you into action mode and really start making a difference in your classroom already. But I also know that it can sometimes be a challenge when you try to do it and really try to see how it works with your specific students, in your specific context, in the subject that you are teaching. And especially if you're at school and you want to do a good job and introduce it in the entire school, which by the way is the best way to go, it can be quite challenging as well. So if at any point in time the book itself is not enough, I want you to know that both Shyam and I are here to help. It's our life's mission. So just reach out to either of us or both of us so that we can see if and how we could help you out. But first, I would say start with reading this book. Oh yes, and by the way, we want to become so good at helping you out that Shyam and I are exploring some ways to collaborate just to get better at helping you. And the very first thing that we are going to organize is a webinar on the 16th of October, and then we're gonna lead you into the topic of self-regulated learning, and of course we're gonna give you some very practical tips for your students and for yourself right away. So if you want and come and meet us in person, I would say go and buy the ticket, and we would love for you to be there. See you